Okay, so good morning everyone. I am John Navarro and I am part of the Group 7, Topic 4, Development of Composing Skills. Together with me is Miss Elvie Grace Kadaa, Miss Risa Jane Marikit, and Miss Jana Jane Eliahas. Okay, so first we will be discussing about putting down ideas on purpose on paper, the stages of writing development. So the first stages of writing development is audio storytelling, which ranges to 3 to 4 years old. So this stage is based on spoken language and gives the youngest users the opportunity to tell stories by using recording function. Then, parents and teachers should translate children's audio recordings into written language by adding text to the adult text field. So, examples of audio storytelling is that we use audiobooks and audio stories. So, audio storytelling develops language comprehension and ability of the child to understand and retain information. Then, we have early emergent writing. It ranges to 4 to 5 years old. So, the first writing stage is characterized by scribbling random keys on the keyboard, partnering the key function that provides audio support for the letter names, then continue to add conventional writing translation in the audio writing field, which gives the child the chance to see the spelling of familiar words. So in here, in early emergent writing, children will already understand and begin to apply the knowledge they have acquired from the audio storytelling. Okay? So in this, they can already make letters and words. It also motivates, for them, motivation are cards and also envelopes, notepads, colored pencils, and some pens and papers. So as we can see, on our nephews or the children we have in our houses, age 4 to 5 years old, if we give them or they see pens, papers, and etc., they are interested already. So they will ask for papers or pens to write down or to draw something which have clear sense for them or they have meaning in them. But for us, we can never directly understand what they have drawn in that paper because it is called scribbling. They just draw something like spirals, shapes, any kinds, but we can never understand it clearly. But for the child, it is meaningful for them because it conveys how they feel, what they feel, or their experiences inside what they have scribbled. Then let's proceed to emergent. So in emergent writing, by now children have gained an initial understanding of phonics, which is the correspondence between letter patterns or the graphemes and sounds, which is the phonemes. Then, set audio support to letter sounds or phonics. Children began to make the reading and writing connection, and children begin to make reading, writing connection and are much more aware of embedded clues such as picture and initial letter clues. So as we can see, for example, in an alphabet card. So in an alphabet card, there is a picture and there is a letter. So inside that, for example, there is a letter card which possesses or which has a drawing of an apple and a letter A has been put in that card. So in that, the child will already recognize that this is a letter A and this is called, and the picture inside that card is an apple because A is pronounced A. Then inside that picture card is an apple, so apple. He already recognized that. Okay, so that is emergent writing. Also, emergent writing is a phase in which children begin sharing ideas on a paper. So they will already share their ideas on a piece of paper. So, for example, is that scribble Pre-write making with meaning, which is intentional scribbles, shapes, and they can already say out loud the meaning of what we have written or scribbled in a piece of paper. Then pre-write letter-like forms and string of letters. So they can already write lines, curves, and dots that resemble letters. Okay? December letters. Then, invented spelling. Invented spelling write words by recording letters for the sound they hear. Conventional spelling, more accurate in representation of spoken sounds in words. So let's proceed to transitional writing. So transitional writing at this stage, there is a one-to-one relationship between the letters and sounds represented in a children's writing. Even though children's writing has now reached a certain level where it may be able to be read by others, providing conventional writing is still important to writing progress. Children learn to recognize and use different sounds and punctuation. So, in transitional writing, they can already display the ability to create meaningful sentences and communicate a message. They have mastered basic mechanics, starting with a capital letter, ending with correct punctuation and correct spelling. So let's proceed to fluent writing. Fluent writing can already write, the child can already write more complex sentences and use a variety of sentences to express ideas clearly. So fluent writing learning abilities in written language is the longest learning phase. Children can turn off the key sound at this stage if this support is not needed. Teachers, parents, and suggestions help children spell correctly, then write the misspelled words in the adult text field. Write a comment that can guide the children to correct themselves. So in fluent writing, we can suggest different types of strategies to correct the child's misspelled words, and also we can comment down or give feedbacks that this word is not correct or it is misspelled. So we can teach the child the correct spellings of these words and so on. So that's all for my part. Next reporter would be Ms. Kada for the issues and invented spelling and mechanics of writing.
Okay, hello everyone. So the second stage of developing composing skills is the issue and invented spelling and mechanics of writing. So invented spelling research. Charles Reed's 1975 study found that students often invented spellings for words by rearranging letters to fit their perception of things.
identify and use different sounds that distinguish one word from another. So last is, teachers can discover important information about a student's growing knowledge of phonics by reading a composition that the student created using invented spelling techniques. So teacher is nag-discover sa important information while ang student's phone is nag-gain o nag-discover po siya ng important information through invented spelling. So the disadvantages of invented spelling. First is, it may reduce the incentive for children to learn to spell words. Mauni siya ang mga disadvantages sa invented spelling. First, kay nag-reduce ilahang incentive, meaning is ang motivation nila or excitement sa isa ka bata is nag-reduce. Pag nag-learn sa spell words correctly, so wala ilang motivation or excitement. Then second is, it could possibly lead to problems in communication since others may not always be able to decipher what the student has written. So second is, pwede siya mag-lead siya sa mga problems or of communication kay na yung mga students mga good na dili sila kapag mo-interpret or decipher, mo-interpret or mo-understand or comprehend sa isa ka words na kung unsay mga giconvey ana na words. So lastly is, highly logical children may become frustrated when the teacher doesn't insist there's only one correct way to spell a particular word. So we all know na yung mga student is competitive sila when it comes to ilang learning. So mo kaganihan is problems in communication. So there's only one correct way. So magka-problema sa mga teacher and students because they have different learnings and they have different so using invented spelling to encourage reading and writing. First, encourage children to write regularly at home. So dili pasabot na ang isa ka bata is na siya nahibalan is mustak na siya na. So kailangan sila is mag-write hapon regularly at their home. So mag-practice hapon sila. Second is discourage creative expression through invented spelling. So gina-encourage ang mga students na ipakita ilang creative side or ang creative expressions nila through invented spelling. Refer to child's creative spellings as invented spelling. So, ang invented spelling po siya is ginakot po siya o gina-refer siya sa child's creative spellings. So, last is ask children to read aloud to help decipher words. So, ang isa ka students is gina-motivate o gina-encourage nila na ipakusog ang ilang pagbasa or ilang pagsabot para matabangan sila na ma-interpret o ma-understand or comprehend ang words na ilang ginabasa. So, beyond invented spelling, help young learners build strong spelling and writing skills by teaching sight words and sharing fundamental spelling rules using fun activities. So, this one, sight words, it is recognized instantly without sounding them out, developing reading and writing skills of students. So, pwede ang mga students is ma-build ng strong spelling and writing skills through teaching sight words. So, for example, mga jumbled words, flashcards na ginasa sa mga teachers or fun crossword puzzle, etc. Daghang sight words na pwede matabangan ng mga students para ma-develop ilang invented spelling. That's all.
And now, let's proceed to teaching the mechanics of writing. Mechanics in writing. Writing mechanics are the conventions governing technical aspects of writing, such as spelling, punctuation, capitalization, and abbreviations. One solution is to put together a draft of main ideas before writing. Writing textbook also includes issues related to usage and organization. So in order for you to write or to do a textbooks, you're going to consider the mechanics of writing, the punctuation, the
understand that our readers or more understandable the text or the writing that you do, you're going to put a right punctuation in the statement so that the reader can know how or when they stop and pause. Next. There are 40 punctuation marks. So here are the 40 punctuation marks. First one, the period. The second one, question mark, exclamation point, comma, colon, semicolon, and dash, hyphen, brackets, braces, parentheses, apostrophe, quotation mark, and ellipsis. The importance of spelling is spelling is the correct arrangement of letters that form words. It is important in contributing clear communication of right written message. Develops a strong connection between the letters and their sound. Learning high frequency sight words will assist in child in both their reading and writing. So, in order for you to do to write a textbook, you're going to know the right spelling, of course, and the right word that you need to put in the textbook. So, next. You want to
Spelling is a system of spelling in which each letter represents one spoken sound. Phonetic spelling is invaluable for those who are learning to speak a new language or to find themselves needing to pronounce hard to say names or other words in their own language. So, as we see in dictionaries that there are some phonetic spellings that we should consider. For example, when we read cup. So, what do you, in your mind, how do you spell cup? So, the normal spelling of cup is C-U-P. But in a phonetic spelling, when we base it on the sound of the word, is that we use K, A, and P. Cup. That's the spelling of, that's how you spell phonetic spelling when we use it. So, in clearer sense, phonetic spelling is spelling words using the sound itself of the word. So that is phonetic spelling.